and welcome to TQ Talks, where we talk taxes and tax-free living 365. Here are your hosts, Craig White, Sebastian Singh, and Patrick Augustin.
And we're back with another TQ Talks.
Hey, thank you for joining us today. As always, if you haven't been with us before, we are a tax and advisory firm. Our job is to help our clients to either increase the amount of money they get back when they file their taxes or decrease the amount they owe. We do that all year long, 365 through tax planning. We also use little-known life insurance strategies to help people to build wealth for themselves now and for the generations to come. The voice you heard earlier was Mr. Patrick Augustin.
Yes, sir.
And with us, our esteemed colleague, Sebastian Singh.
I'm here. Thank you guys for joining us once again. I hope you found us on your podcasting platforms or social media platforms. We're TQ Financials on all of the above.
There you go. And I'm Craig White, and we're off to the races again with another wonderful...
Great year. Let's go.
Wonderful podcast. So the basics of taxes has always been something perplexing. I know Mr. Patrick is not excited about this topic because because he feels like it's a waste of time. And you know what? Maybe it is. But having a conversation with a GC the other day that was in the office, cool enough, and he said something that was true. He's like, a lot of people just don't understand. Now, to our frustration, and you always say it, we are in the industry, so it's different.
Yeah.
We have a better understand, of course, a very good understanding of taxes, what it is, the background, and how it helps, whatever. But the problem is, we feel like when I say Patrick Moore, and I used to be like that, when you educate people with all the information, they sort of like
goes over their head.
Yeah, they don't even care. That's what it really boils down to. But it doesn't matter. We're gonna try to give
you guys
some stuff.
The majority do not bother to care.
I see our client base changing. I know we went through that for a long time, but I see them actually accepting the value in what we're saying now.
That's different,
especially when it comes to the planning part of it.
That's different.
Because now we're getting more questions of, well, how does that affect this or that, you know? And in the past, it used to be, how much are you going to charge?
But hold on.
And that was it.
But see, our client base is not everyone else's.
Oh,
and we know that. So we established 100 times over. We purposely picked who we want as our clients. And every sprinkle now and then you get a couple people that just don't care. What Pat is saying is that the people that just don't care, when we provide them this basic information, it's like a waste of time, because what's going to happen is they're still going to call you and say, complain. You say, you remember the thing we talked? Complain.
They still won't.
So the point is they're not looking to learn. Which, again, part of our stuff is growth mindset. If you don't have one of those, we really don't want you as a client because it's a waste of my breath, and I have anger issues, so it ain't going to work. So, listen, let's get into this because we want to run over this real quick.
Yeah, let's go. So let's just go over a couple things, right?
The first thing I want to touch on is Publication 17. Do we expect you guys to read this? No, but you need to know what it is. Publication 17 tells you everything you need to know. I repeat, everything you need to know in order to prepare taxes. That when you open it up, it's a thing, and it'll say 2022, 2020, whatever numbers or whatever year it is, because it changes each year. And it literally says tax guide for individuals. I mean in bold.
Right.
Tax guide for, and then at the bottom, for individuals. And then it goes over, as I wrote down, and I'm not going to memorize it so you guys want to look. It literally tells you what page is going to be talking about what thing. And we don't have to go over the details of what each thing is, but it's important for people to understand, again, how taxes actually work. You can't give us your W-2 or your form and then ask us, well, what's my refund?
Right.
That's not how it works.
Correct. So I think on both ends, I think we educate our clients very well. Mm-hmm. We also advise them or urge them to go look up stuff on their own.
Of course.
Right? Whether we're talking about a new credit or a change in tax law or whatever the case may be. But also when it comes to this stuff, when we explain it out, I think it lands a lot better, because when it comes to at least our personal interactions with our clients, you know, we're able to identify it to their case, to what they have going on, you know?
Agreed.
But as always, we always urge everybody to go read, educate themselves. Please, if there's something that we're saying that's missing or that's off, you guys think it's different, let us know.
Right.
But yeah, to Pat's point, a lot of the times when we go through this stuff,
it goes over their head.
Well, right. So the tax wonderful publications of, I'll read what it goes into things. It literally says filing status, like each page, you know, it gives you a bookmark. Filing status. you got to know what your filing status is. Are you single, married filing jointly, widowed? Like, those things are important. Again, no one expects everyone to sit there and know what the deduction is for each person, but you at least got to know what you are. Right. The next one on there was dependents.
How many
dependents do you have?
Yep.
What is a dependent?
Oh, true.
And your pet is not, and your pets are not your dependent.
They're not. Listen, pets are not. They need to be.
Really wish they would.
Honestly say that I'm in agreement with everyone who posts that. Because they're expensive. They do the same thing as a child. And a dependent doesn't have to be a child, right? Right. It doesn't have to be, but that's the point. If you don't know that, then you misunderstand what those things are. Tax withholding, right, is the next one on their list. Tax withholding, like, how much are you withholding? We talked about W-4s before and whatever the case is. Wages / salaries / other earnings. They're trying to tell you these are 3 different categories.
Right.
They're 3 different categories, and it's important because they're not all taxed the same. That's why when you look at your 1040, it says wages, salaries, other because income. If I bring in business income or whatever, I'm under other.
Right.
And I might have self-employment tax associated with that. Wages do not.
Exactly.
Again, we don't expect people to know that part. We need to know wages, salaries, and other. You need to know that much, right? Next one on there, Social Security.
What's going on?
Right. Do you get taxed on it? How much? At the end of the day, figure it out. You got to read those kind of things. Standard and itemized deductions is next on their list. And I'm skipping because I think there's some other stuff. Tax rates, which I think we're going to jump into on another topic. But your tax rate, what is your marginal tax rate? No, we don't expect you to know, $42,300. But you need to know, oh, snap, so I don't get charged this entire thing? No, it's on different brackets? Yes, that's what happens. And the biggest thing for me, if you guys read it, rights as a taxpayer. They literally have a giant category as rights as a taxpayer. It tells you could fight the IRS. You don't have to agree with it is. You have a right to a great refund, like meaning actually preparation. Right. You have a right to tell us what this is. They tell you all these things you're allowed to do, and everybody's like, I don't understand taxes. We don't want to read about it.
And then they stop there. They stop there.
Yeah, at the end, it's like they close it and whatever the case is. But literally, they list so many rights you have as a taxpayer. In other words, you don't have to agree with everything we're saying. We're telling you what the stuff is, and here's all these gray lines. And again, Pat, yes, it goes over their heads, but you need to know the basics, right? You got to know some of the basics.
I think we should all know. I'm a big advocate for that.
Agreed.
No, it's not that it goes over their head, to be honest with you. It's more so of when I give you the information, retain it, and don't complain regarding what are my fees?
You're back on fees. You're mad at fees?
It goes back to me explaining to you how taxes work.
Right. True.
And the value of everything, my knowledge, my experience.
Right,
it goes all in that one pot.
Hand in hand. Correct.
I get it.
It's back to what Pat always says. If we take 15 minutes to do this, that doesn't change the value of what you got done.
Agreed. And I'm not going to go on value. We did a video on that. I'm going to tell you guys, the basics, taxes 101, right, if we want to call it that, is something that we all need to know. You said it when Rhea was in here last time and we talked about politics, or she talked about politics and explaining. You guys both said, and it was true, everyone needs to learn about it, right? You have to have some basic understanding because there's no way you're going to be able to change anything if you don't. And I reluctantly agreed because it's true.
All right.
It's the same for taxes.
Yeah.
I don't give a crap if you find value in what I give you or not. I'm telling you that you need to take the 10 minutes of your day and stop scrolling like this through TikTok and pull up something. It's on everything. There's videos for everything. Literally, taxes 101 or basics of taxes. What is a 1040? What is a filing status? You could literally just listen and say, okay, I get it. All right, cool. I understand. And
you pick up a thing here
It's a thing called Google.
Yes.
And then
but if you don't want to read, you know what I mean? I mean, literally, guys.
When you come in with a base with base information or a good foundation, it gets us so much further when it comes to this tax planning as well.
And it goes beyond our business, right? Because in my head, I'm thinking, 3 black guys standing here or sitting here, and we as people don't have strong enough foundation. So the other cultures, I'll leave it at that, have that and have been guided to that. So they come in ready to start punching stuff through.
Yeah,
correct.
This basic understanding of taxes is already frustrating. And again, Trump should be the indicator. Your thing is buzzing. Trump should be the indicator for everything, right?
Right.
Right? Because at the end of the day, he's telling you, here's how you get away with murder. right? And we're on the other side of the spectrum saying, here's how you complain about everything we do. But there's the only literal, common denominator is the knowledge that is being put forth. I'm not saying Trump has a knowledge, his people has a knowledge.
His people do.
Yeah.
Correct.
So at the end of the day, we don't even have the basic understanding of taxes to be able to complain correctly about taxes.
Complain if it's right or wrong.
Yeah.
Correct.
So you got to know something.
But we're going to get there. They're going to read Publication 17. They're going to call TQ Financial Services.
That's what I hope.
They're going to call TQ Financial Services. That's what they're going to do.
They're going to continue to follow us on all social media platforms.
Positive, Pat.
As well as the podcasting platforms. TQ Talks on everything.
Guys, just try again, at the end, as Sebastian is wrapping this up, big red button, wrap this up. If at the end of the day, try at least, give it 5 minutes a week just to learn a little bit more about taxes. It will make your life better, not just for filing, but understanding where your money's going, how you're going to be able to do things, how to organize things better. And yes, when we talk, we do a great job of making it simplistic for people. That's what we do as a whole. But hey, knowledge is great, and you guys got to be able to pass it on to other people. So you have to take the time to at least try to understand basics, and not just taxes, everything, guys. Everything you can. So thank you for joining us. As Bassy already concluded, find us on all social media platforms, on wherever you get your podcasts from. We love you, and we thank you for spending your time with us.
And we're out.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for listening to TQ Talks. If you enjoyed the show, please rate and recommend on iTunes, SoundCloud, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also get more information at TQFinancials.com.